Okay, we're just waiting for a few more minutes until we can start. We did say at 3 o'clock, 5 more minutes time. And the format will be a Q&A. I see there's people online over there. Hi everybody online. Yeah, they can see me, very good. Unfortunately, I'm used to doing this, online Zoom talks and Q&A. So, yeah, but we also have a lot of people here, which is wonderful. Because you know what it's like, sometimes you tell a joke and then no one's here to laugh, and I don't know whether it was a funny joke or not so funny. It's true. So I think I told that joke last night about the man. He had an obsession with collecting memorabilia of famous women. You know, people like Joan of Arc and Superwoman, Batwoman, and Bodicea, all these amazing women. And so he was just so obsessed by collecting things of famous women that he went to the psychologist, and the psychologist said, I know your trouble. You are a heroin addict. That's true, heroin addict. Okay, a few people are groaning, which is the usual response I get. Never mind. But I also noticed that even though people groan, they remember the jokes to inflict the pain on the other close family members. Just waiting for a few more minutes. We're ahead of schedule. Now, of course, that we have people from overseas, but it's also, I feel a bit embarrassed that our locals, the ones actually here in the hall, don't get much chance to ask questions. So I do all see already here today, we have our president, Hock Chin, for this year. We also have our deputy president, I'm not going to call vice president, that's not me, the deputy president, Ksenia. So the first question will be from Hock Chin, because as a president, you've got to lead things off. And the second question will be from Ksenia. So I'll give you a few minutes to think of something. And when you have a question, you can either ask, this is for this monk or this nun. It doesn't have to be the head nun or the head monk. Sometimes it's nice asking questions of some of the juniors. Now, what's it like living with Ayahasapanya when she goes over to Sydney? Are you happy? What's it like being with Ajahn Brahm? Honestly. So little by little, you can ask nice questions. Now, why did he become a bhikkhuni? Why did he become a monk? Little things like that. When you are a monk, can you still be of service to your family? If a person in your family gets very, very, very sick and you need to look after them, how far can you go to look after your family? Little questions like that, which makes you don't have to run away. More nuns coming. Oh, okay. We're now going to be outnumbered. Oh my goodness. How many are coming?
Maximum 4 because the car can fit in only 4.
Oh yeah, they're all coming.
So
oh my goodness.
4. Is it 4? So I have to bring in 3 more patients.
Sorry? Yeah, we're in big trouble now. There's going to be a coup. Yay! I can relax. Oh yeah, okay, yes, can do. Okay, good, yes, yes.
Thank you. She's very
Yeah.
nice.
Okay, yes. Hold on, sorry. Can do. Hi. That's very lucky being down there because people are less likely to ask questions when you're sitting down there. Don't always have to be that. But anyway, I've got 3 o'clock on my machine at the moment. We could have. Yeah. 1 or 2
Just put the chair behind you.
minutes. Okay, I've got 3. But I know that's often said to me, we don't see enough bhikkhunis at Dhammaloka Centre. So it's nice to see more.
They have been going much.
Yeah, they have.
Also went November.
That's only,
workshop.
that's only 1,
No.
2.
9.
Oh yeah, I know,
That's
but
6.
they still say they don't see them enough. They miss you. Is that right? Yes,
I'm
very good.
coming next week.
Okay, very good. You are coming, yes. And I'm going overseas next week. They know that joke already. I've really worked that one too much. Overseas. I've got a flight overseas next weekend. But overseas is just over the Australian bight to Melbourne. It's not going that far. Excellent. So, Hok-Chin, have you thought your question out yet? 1, 2. We need the roving mic. Where's the roving mic gone? Here we go. And we have one on that side. Yeah, it's Hok-Chin first. He's the president. And the deputy president, vice president over there. Jake, she's gone next one.
Ajahn.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, yes. So here we go. Welcome everybody to the interrogation of the Sangha hour. So please interrogate us.
So in the group environment by organizations such as BSWA, how do you advise the team to work together as a team in harmony by using Buddhist principle?
How to work together as a team. First of all, you have to lower your own sense of importance and ego. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. Did Jake just give you the answer? So yeah, we try to work together as a team. But one of the things with all the volunteers of the Buddhist Society of West Australia, that we all have other jobs. And so that's one of the reasons why, to make sure that people aren't overworked. It's one of the problems of our modern age. People are stressed out. And the really competent ones, they're the ones who just are still working. Those ones are the, should I say that? The less competent. I'm going to say good. The less competent ones, they're the ones who've got lots and lots of time. It's common for committees to be able to do that. But every now and again you try and spot, this is my job, spot really good members who have just retired, but are not yet sort of that old. So that's that spot, they're the best ones because they've got the time, they've got the energy, they've got the skills, and they haven't lost the skills yet. But it's just, we try to work together. But also keep it simple. As simple as we possibly can. And then, as we say in Buddhism, that if you do have a different opinion, always remember you may be wrong. That's why we have 2 monastic rules over in Bodhinyana Monastery. I don't know if you've got those 2 rules as well. The rule number 1 is the abbot is always right. That's rule number 1. Number 2, when the abbot's wrong, just go back to rule number 1. Do you want to add to that?
We didn't have that.
Didn't have that one.
We don't have that.
You don't have that. Really? Okay. Okay. But okay. We'll leave that one for now. Okay. Ksenia.
I guess my question would be more for junior monks and junior
good.
nuns. And why? Because I know Ajahn Brahm is very busy. You have a very busy lifestyle, and same as Ajahn Hasapanya. So my question is, just out of my interest, how many hours do normally monks and nuns spend for meditation? How many hours a day approximately?
Okay. Let's start off with... No, because the monks over there, that's all. The Kalama? Yeah. No, Kalama. So, you see, he's meditating now, that's why he can't answer your question.
Approximately. So there are 24 hours in
Yeah,
a day.
approximately how many hours a day do you reckon on average you spend meditating?
Depends on the day.
No, come on, simple question. Over a month, how many hours do you spend meditating?
Sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes more, sometimes less if you're busy.
Okay.
It actually just varies.
What about you, Venerable Kalama?
Yeah, it's sort of an ego question as well. But sometimes as little as 2, which is not quite enough, and there were years when I was doing 7 or more, which seemed too much.
Okay. So the most junior nun? Vasana. Yeah. Oh, it's nice to see you, Venerable. Go to me. It's lovely to see you here. It's an inspiration. How old are you today? How old are you? That's why she's so happy. Good to see you. How old is she?
Is it 76? 78. Coming to 79. Oh, coming.
79. Wow. Look how fit and healthy she is. Yeah, please. Okay. Yeah, it's up to you. Just take it easy. Okay. First nun.
How many hours meditating? At least, try to do at least 3 hours, and then more if I can, like 4, 5 maybe.
Okay, next one.
Depends what posture.
Sorry?
Depends what posture.
Yeah, any posture.
Just lying down. Just sit. No, I mean, this depends. Depends. I don't have an average really. If I feel like sitting longer, I'll sit longer. Sit shorter. Just get up and do work, and then sit again.
Okay.
It counts. I don't know the answer.
What about Venerable? Go to me.
How many hours do you meditate?
A day. Average. Average.
Well, I
Well.
combine meditation with studying the sutta, so I do not meditate as much as I used before.
Okay. What about the next one?
I think there's quality and then there's quantity.
Ah, that's a nice answer.
There's a lot of quantity, but I'm not sure about quality, so...
Okay. Next one.
Yeah, well, I think it's different. During the Vasa, we tend to do more meditation. So, and outside Vasa, there's more activity and work. So it'll differ also between Vasa and non-Vasa. So maybe outside Vasa, yeah, at least 2 or 3. And if you don't have much activity going on, then more than that, 4 or 5. And during Vasa, maybe it would be like at least 7, 8, something like that. Depending on your level of energy, you might do more. Yeah, more than that as well. So, depends.
Excellent.
I just want to add on. Normally during Vasas, we don't work. So we have only 2 nuns come out on duty. The rest of the nuns don't come out. And then breakfast optional. Some of them come for breakfast, some of them they don't. If they come for breakfast, they take the food and they go back. And then the whole Vasas, they only work for 2 weeks. And then the rest of the time, there's a time they meditate. So the whole 3 months, they'll be really Vasa. So there's a lot of time. There's at times we need to work, we work. Like for example, bushfire season, we have to do the preparation. We have a big property. And then before Vasas, because raining season, and then we have to get ready for collecting water because we don't have town water. And things like that, we have to do Kuban and things like that. So before Vasa, we're very busy, quite tired. But Vasa 3 months, they truly 3 months meditate, not coming out. And then, so only two nuns come out on duty to do the basic. But they have to come up just to give the blessing, and then they get the food, they go back. So for the whole 3 months, we truly quiet time and meditate.
Very good. Okay, so thanks for that question. Nice one. So anyone, next question? Okay, Prem.
Ajahn, it is 20 years now since you have gone on your last 6 months retreat. Just reminding you, that's all.
Just reminded me, okay. I've been reminded. I must admit personally that for the last 6 months or so, not travelling overseas so much, and not having delegated, I think quite successfully, many of my duties to the younger monks. So it's given me much more time to spend meditating, really getting into it. And I thank my junior monks, and monks like Ajahn Brahm and Venerable and even Venerable over there, he's like a secretary, helping out so much. So instead of doing just a long retreat, even I'm doing so much meditation now that you're really getting lots of bliss states coming up. And so I found that the last 6 months or so, my meditations really started to get more consistent. We always have to be of service to others. That's part of being a monk, part of being a nun, a meditator, always helping out when help is needed. But then also there's so many other things you don't really need to do. As far as writing books, I've written enough books already. Questions, it gives you enough answers to questions. Most of the questions which I get these days are not about meditation, they're about marriage. And about economy and stuff. Oh, come on. So I think it's interesting just to see just how monastic life just grows and develops. Maybe you're just a young dual sangha here, Bhikkhunis. We're just going to have the first local Bhikkhuni ordination in August.
1st of August.
Yeah.
4 months ago.
Yeah, here with their preceptor, Venerable Hasapanya, local. And you know what it says, many of you have heard this, that as far as the Buddhism is concerned, they always say that Buddhism has got its roots into a land when local people ordain in the local monastery under local nuns or monks. And so we've done that for monks quite a while ago, but now for nuns, it's the first time. It's historic and it shows that things are really growing and becoming solid here. You may be used to that, but out there in the world, you don't realize how unique this is here. Ooh. Anyway, so as we grow like that, it means the leaders will have more time to be able to go into their huts much more. And who knows, I still have opportunities, at least a month a year, 2 weeks in the rains, 2 weeks another time, to have my personal retreats. And that's all you I need at the moment. Eddie. Okay, so the next question on this side this time. No question on that side. You got a question, Van? Okay, a question from overseas.
Yes, there are a few.
Okay, let's do the overseas question then.
The first one I'll read out. Are all monks and nuns following the forest tradition led by Ajahn Chah? And then there's a related question straight afterwards. I believe nuns are following 311 precepts, hence I would like to know who does the ordinations for the same.
Okay, we can do that question first. What is the question? Well, the first question, who does the ordination for the nuns, for the bhikkhunis?
Yes. Asking when is the first?
No, who does it now?
Oh,
Ordination.
I'm the one who doing it.
Yay!
And yes, because you have to be 12 reigns. So this I'm already reached 12 reigns. So in the past we used to invite Pawatini, bhikkhunis from overseas to come over to do the bhikkhuni ordination. But now we do not need to import, and we save lots of money for paying the airfare. So it's all in-house now. So then now they can, last time quite difficult whenever we need to ordain, we need to organize nuns from overseas. But now it's quite easy because we have a preceptor available, because last time we don't have preceptor available, but now we have a preceptor available, so people can ordain anytime.
Yeah, so it's unique.
Because
it's
last time
amazing.
lots of organization, like have to organize the trip for them to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's wonderful we have that opportunity to know. So it's locally ordained, and it's absolutely watertight according to the Vinaya. So because it was controversial when we started that bhikkhuni ordination 12 years ago, that people looked into it, they made sure that the arguments were valid, that everything, again, was watertight, because it was challenging to some people. And sometimes that, is it according to Ajahn Chah's forest tradition? The forest tradition is much bigger than Ajahn Chah. And of course, I take Ajahn Chah as my teacher, but I learned so much from many of the other great monks at the time. And so I was going to say the great nuns at the time, but there weren't that many nuns in Thailand. There was one, Korsun Luang, who was a really wonderful nun, but she was only the wearing white, but excellent teacher. But nevertheless, the forest tradition is not owned by Ajahn Chah. We think much wider than that. And he's my teacher. So we've had people here from other teachers, and they're most welcome. See the width. Are we really following the forest tradition of Ajahn Chah? No, it's much bigger than that. And it includes Ajahn Chah's forest tradition. It includes, I was mentioning the other day, Ajahn Tate. It includes, I don't know how many other people, Ayya Khema. I still remember when Ayya came, I saw her first of all when she was a layperson, Ilse Lederman, when she came over to Thailand. And then she sort of ordained as best she possibly could. And then eventually, I still remember her coming to Bodhinyana. I'm not sure if I had taken over at that time, and Ajahn Chakra disrobed, or Ajahn Chakra was overseas. But I remember one evening, she was staying at Bodhinyana Monastery. I said, can you give the talk tonight? She said, me? I'm a woman. I said, yes, please. So she was actually quite surprised and very pleased that she was allowed to give a talk that evening. And then you know what she talked about? She talked about jhanas. And then afterwards she came up to me and said, I hope you weren't offended I talked about jhanas. I said, what are you talking about? I talk about those all the time, as you very well know here. And she said, wow, you mean one of the Ajahn Chah's Western monks who talks about jhanas? I said, yeah, because many of them thought that too was controversial, which is mind-blowing to call that controversial. But anyway, she was a very good nun. And it's very nice when you meet together, you talk together, you realize there's hardly any sort of difference between us. So we're wider than the forest tradition. In other words, any good monk or nun, no matter who they are, where they ordained, if they're a good monk or good nun, they keep their precepts, they can come and stay. We have many Sri Lankan monks, have come here. Another one coming soon, Aranya Vihari. Aranya Vihari, isn't it? Aranya Vihari, he's been here before. He's coming over from Melbourne for the rains retreat here. We've had monks from Sri Lanka coming over here. Monks from Korea, South Korea coming over here, spending the rains together. And you just look at them, we sit in the Patimokkha together, they're real good monks, they keep their Vinaya, and it's a different tradition. But there's a feeling amongst the monks and nuns that these are fellow Sangha members. They belong. And if you read your history books in the past, had these monasteries as Mahayana, Theravada, Sarvastivada, Dhammagupta, all these different traditions. Nevertheless, they still stayed in the same monasteries, sharing their time together, and they would discuss these minor differences, but they would still live in harmony together in peace. And that really inspired me. You don't all have to be clones of Ajahn Chah to be in an Ajahn Chah inspired monastery. So that's why it's a tradition much wider than forest tradition. Our main teachers, as I mentioned this morning, who is our teacher? The Dhamma Vinaya, the teachings of the Buddha and our precepts. That is what the Buddha said on the very first Vesak, or just before the first Vesak, when he passed away. Now I'm gone, let the Dhamma Vinaya be your teacher from now on. It's beautiful. Anyway, sorry, I better shut up. Another question? For somebody else, because I keep on going, I can't be quiet. Go on.
Okay. Next one from Zoom by Catalina Hurl. I'm actually very curious on family-related life, how you cope, specifically if you already have kids or a husband/wife that lost the battle to Buddhism, active devotion.
So, okay, your turn. Someone else want to say anything?
Can you repeat the questions?
I'm very curious on family-related life, how you cope, specifically if you already have kids or a husband/wife that lost the battle to Buddhism, active devotion. So I suspect
has lost the devotion to Buddhism.
Yes.
Oh.
So if your spouse has lost the devotion, I think that's what.
Okay. Actually, sometimes, like even my own parents, my own relatives, and I just respect them if they don't think that Buddhism. I don't try to convince them. And it's through loving kindness. We love them as they are, whether they are Buddhist or not. If they don't want to be a Buddhist, and it's fine. I remember some months ago, someone come to me and this person crying, and I was thinking, what's the matter? And then she said, oh, because my father now convert to Christian, and how am I to get him back to Buddhism? I said, it's fine. If it's this what make him happy, and it's just let him be. You just love him as he is. Not that you have to be Buddhist. I love you. If you are not Buddhist, I don't love you. But if you truly walking the Buddha's path, you practicing loving kindness, you just love the person as the person is. You don't try to convert anyone. I never try to convert any of my relatives or my friends. I just, if they're interested in the Dhamma, I explain to them. But I don't try to convert them. But just be kind. To me, like, it's fine if they don't want to become a Buddhist, it's fine. And this is my answer. I'm not trying to convert people. I try to get them back to be, to have more, to become a Buddhist. So I'm okay. Even my family member, whoever want to become not interested in Buddhism, they want to become a Christian or Muslim, whatever. It's fine to me. I still love them as they are. Okay, I hope this is my answer.
Okay, next one. I would say you can be a Christian in this life, but you'll be a Buddhist in your next.
All right. Next question is from Kelly Churchwood. What did the monks and nuns want to do as children when they grew up?
What I wanted to do when I was a child is personally I had all sorts of stupid ideas what I wanted to do, but there was something which was underneath all of that. And just like today, that people were saying, Ajahn Brahm, why are you walking without any shoes on? Why don't you wear socks? Why don't you wear like a hat or a scarf? And I like simplicity. And I was always very healthy enough to even, honestly, when I was even a young man growing up in college, that I would wear sandals but no socks when I was in the snow. There was snow everywhere. And Cambridge was a very cold city. And I didn't wear socks. I didn't need to. I was fine without them. So there's something there, that simplicity. As my uncle once said, my name as a layperson was Peter. He said, Peter, you're not really interested in money, are you? And it was true. And so much of my character, I was too close to it, I couldn't really understand. What I really wanted was simplicity, peace, truth, freedom. In other words, I wanted to be a monk. I was honest. And even when I was a kid at university, I remember writing poems about being a monk. They were just only personal ones, I don't know where they went. Wish I'd have kept them, because they'd have been worth a fortune now if I could have auctioned them all. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to do. Very boring, but what did you want to do when you were young?
In fact, when I was young, I don't know what I want to do. So I was thinking, I try to be normal, like what usually people do. Then, okay, if people say, oh, grown up, they're married, they have children, okay, this is so-called a normal life. And I never thought that I'm going to become a nun. To me, I must confess, I must admit that when I was young, I don't like Buddhist nun, to be honest. Do you know what happened? Because in my area, but when someone died, we normally pay those Buddhist nuns to come and do the funeral. So to me, my perception of a Buddhist nun is a funeral director. So I don't want to become a nun. But I think it's naturally as my mother passed away, I come to practice much more and have more deeper understanding, and I spend more time in monastery, and I just naturally, I never have that idea of being a nun. It's just that naturally that, okay, I have to live until I die. So what kind of lifestyle I want to live? And then I choose to live in the monastery, then I become a nun, because I just enjoy the kind of lifestyle. I like the lifestyle. That's why this is how I come to. It's not that I want to become a nun. I don't have the idea, but I just like the lifestyle. I enjoy the lifestyle, then I become a nun. So when I was young, I truly I'm not ambitious. I don't know what I want to do, to be honest. I don't know what I want to be. But I still work, I work it's an account department and working in the share markets and things like that, and then I have my own business, bakery business and things like that. So I work because they have to work, isn't it? And yeah, so but I don't have any ambitions that I want to become someone or to be someone. I don't have that. So that's why you ask me what I want to be, I truly don't know.
Does another young monk want to answer?
Yeah, you.
There you go.
Mike. I didn't know actually when I was a teenager what I wanted to become. I used to play cricket and hockey, so. But when I was like 8 or 9, I used to say my family's friends that I'm gonna become a sadhu, and I used to spend a lot of time in the Sikh temple and the Hindu temple in our village. And I actually enjoyed. I'll be just by myself and listen to the priest and I just sit, you know. Yeah. So I had this kind of like inclination towards spirituality when I was young. But once you become a teenager normally, then you slowly kind of lose it. And then I came here to Western Australia in 2008. Then after 3 years, I came across meditation, Vipassana meditation. When I kind of like first time ever heard it, he explains dependent origination quite simply. Then I was like, wow, you know. Then I think from that kind of point onwards, kind of became a Buddhist. Yeah,
Okay, any other nuns want to mention anything? You don't all have to do it, just if you really want to, because there's probably plenty of questions. Okay, next one.
All right, this one's a meditation question, Ajahn, from Anne Blashk. Hope I said that right. When I started meditation on the body, a strong traumatic response came up from the body and I got overwhelmed with panic. It got better with practicing awareness in everyday life, but I still cannot sit on the pillow at all without getting very tense. How to handle such strong physical and emotional response if you want to continue the practice? Thank you.
Okay, well, first of all, you don't always have to sit on a cushion. You can sit on the hard concrete. Sorry. You can sit on a sort of stool, on a chair, or just lie down. But little by little, you find that it's just some sort of reaction there, but always give reactions kindness. Oh, this is interesting. Because what happens, it's the emotional response which we give to things creates a real big problem. So if something happens, it's okay. Don't be afraid. Be in this moment. Because if you allow the mind to sort of go off into the future, that's where fear can grow. There's no fear in the present moment. You're already here. You're safe right now. But it's in the future. You think, oh, I won't be able to handle this. Little by being in the present moment and having some faith and trust in other teachers. Who teachers say there's nothing to fear in meditation. You know, whatever memory is coming up, just you can let it go. Why do you give it importance? Give peace importance. It's almost like seeing another memory of somebody else. Still remember when I was a youngster, I used to go to movies, and many of them were horror movies. You go knowing you're going to get scared. I was going to say a bad word there. Scared a lot. You knew it was going to, but you were felt safe because you knew it was only a movie. You could walk out. And there's a lot of similarities with reality too. It's very easy to walk out from your own memories. They're in the past, they're finished, they're gone. It's just the way your mind just takes them up as an object. And because it takes them up as an object, you can choose what you want to see of that right now and what you don't want to see yet. Or you can just move straight away from them. I'm going off on a tangent as usual. But I was talking to a few people recently about past life memories. And the past life memories is good meditation. You're coming out, you ask yourself what's your earliest memory, or something like that. And sometimes people get traumatic memories of their past. And this is in meditation, and it's really powerful, it's real. But the point is that you can always say, earlier please, or come out. And in that type of meditation, your mind is so malleable, easy to work with. You just say earlier please, and the mind will go to something earlier. And it gives you the impression, just like you're looking back at old photographs or old movies, of those times in your life. You do have the power, and you don't need to exercise it to do it, to make that choice. And you can actually go further away from those traumatic memories. But after a while you realize it's not real trauma. It might be bad, but you're through it. You survived. You're past that. You look back upon it just as the truth of your past, of how life can be. But right now, you're not like that at all. So don't be a prisoner of the past, and don't be afraid of the past. Being a prisoner of the past means because of one past memory, you can't sit on a cushion anymore. You're imprisoned by that past memory. Escape. Sit on that cushion, in a place like this, or a nice quiet place, with people you respect and know. You find can sit down, and that fear doesn't come up. It's a different environment, and you realize you have let go of the past. Kindness as well, don't push it. Just be as kind as you possibly can. Give it as much time as it needs, and let it grow. Okay, another question? Then we can, there's one for, another one, come on. We've got to do lots of questions because we're almost over halfway.
Okay, next question is from Joe Lowe. Good afternoon from Penang. How to deal with workmate who always complains about others and works, because it is bothering me, especially when she curses. Thank you.
How to bother with workmates?
To me, it's none of my business. I remember I think a few months ago, someone come to me. It's really bothered me because, I have said something, she's not intentional, like someone being offended, and that person, and then she went up to the person and apologized, said, sorry, I have said that, and this person cannot forgive me. I already asked for forgiveness. Then I look at her, why do you think that he should forgive you? I think you did your part, you asked for forgiveness, and the person refused to forgive you. It's the person's business, none of our business. Because sometimes you just can't help it. We can't change everybody, so we just only change ourselves. The moment I've been with people very difficult, I find that the moment I be able to really accept the person as the person is, it's just such a freedom. Actually, whatever the person do doesn't bother me anymore. To me, it's like the person don't do that, is no longer that person. So if the person like to complain, so yeah, he just like to complain. If the person don't complain, no longer that person. Just to accept the person as the person is, and actually we freeing ourselves. And sometimes we cannot change all the people around us, and it's just too much. So I just focus on myself, like you see, none of my business, whatever other people do. And it doesn't bother me. Like this lady, and I told this lady, I said, it's okay. If people don't forgive you, it's that person's business, none of your business. It's up to the person, isn't it? You do your part. You say, oh, I'm sorry, I've done it, then gone, done. So they said to me, it's like, none of my business whether the person, other people like to complain or whatever. So I'm not really affect me and what they said.
Very good. Next question. Yeah, anyone here? Yes, we've got two over there. Go on.
Hello. Ajahn, I just want to ask you to elaborate on how to create that simplicity, peace, and freedom that you just mentioned, especially if you're in a project like I am right now. I'm under obligation of a few people on top, and I have to be responsible for the people in my team as well. So there's a lot of responsibility in there, but I want to simplify the project in a way that make myself more peaceful and more freedom.
Yeah. You've got to be careful what projects you choose to do in life. Because some are just really sort of so complicated. So again, projects which I choose in life, building monasteries and stuff, But you try and keep it as simple as possible, and part of that is, again, to delegate. So that movie you're doing, you have to delegate a lot of responsibility to other people. So you don't need to do much. You just take the praise when it works. If something goes wrong, say, well, it's her fault because I asked her to do it, but she didn't do it. And that's how I live. I just accept the praise, and any faults, I either blame the president, the PSWA, or Ajahn Brahm, or those nuns, or... No, they're all really good. That keeps it very simple. Okay. I'm trying to give quick answers because there's always lots and lots of questions.
Ajahn,
Me again.
If let's say the first jhana is 100% and the pleasures of the five senses minus 1,000,000, what's the difference between second jhana and first jhana, third jhana and second jhana, and fourth jhana and third jhana?
Okay, yeah. What happens if a person gets into a first jhana, they think that that's the tops, that's the best, they can't even anticipate anything more than that. Just blissed out of your head. Actually, no, literally, there's no head to get blissed out of anymore. Body's vanished, five senses gone, just this mind. But then, just naturally, whether you like to or not like to, just do that enough times and you get deeper. It stabilizes. And more things disappear. It gets more peaceful. And so it's the best simile is, you get to the top of a mountain. You think you can't get any higher than this. Then you find there's another mountain just right next door. And you go to the top of that, it's much higher. And then, once you get to the second jhana experience, then you start, how many more of these mountains are there? It allows you to stabilize. Whatever jhana you're in, you think that's the best, that's the deepest. But then you find out there's something deeper. Third jhana. And each one of these is... That's why sometimes people say, Ajahn Brahm, we can't do all of those things, and why do you keep talking about these stuff? But then they happen to people. And they just show just how much of meditation people just don't know. You start getting into this stuff, and they're just, huge areas of stillness and peace and bliss, and also the insights, to know what the difference is between the second jhana and the first jhana. First jhana, you still have a tiny bit of choice left. Second jhana, that's all gone. And I often said this, and this is powerful insight. Now you know what will is once it's disappeared. It only really disappears in the second jhana. The first jhana, it's almost gone. First jhana, almost gone. Second jhana, totally gone. Wow. And that's actually why, in that second jhana, they call the bliss, the experience, what you're actually feeling and knowing at the time. It's called samadhi-cha, piti sukha. It's the bliss born of stillness. When that will disappears, whoa. It's like a bliss which is even better than the first jhana. Way better. And that really just rocks you. Before that time, you always think that your will, your ability to choose, is a great asset of your existence. And now you know for once and for all, sure, no doubt, that it is a hindrance. It really just gives you a lot of trouble in life. And that's radical to say that. Because we're supposed to live in the free world. In the free world, not a dictatorship, where other people tell you what to do and how to do it. You make your choices. We think that's a wonderful thing to live in the free world. You're not free. Will is not your freedom. Will is your prison. That's controversial, hard to understand. But that's what happens. That's the difference between the second and first jhanas. So these really just They allow you to see things which are just blocked off from normal people. That's why people like the Buddha got enlightened. And that's of course why I just keep going on and on and on and on about jhanas and stillness and letting go, and being really peaceful, not being afraid. And I do that for a purpose, because I care about you. So that's the answer. Okay, next question. Oh, down here. Anyone from the floor?
Ajahn, can you please explain the power of chanting? Like last week, while we were doing dana, when we all give the blessing, even though I didn't understand the meaning of the chanting, but it was so powerful. So powerful.
Yeah, that is true. And the reason is you've got some highly trained monks and nuns in your sanghas here. You ask the monks and nuns themselves, oh no, not me. Maybe another monk is highly trained. Because we never actually know our own powers. And this is like a mind-to-mind transmission, the chanting. Because when I do the chanting, I just remember what those words mean. And then you give that power of the meaning of the words and the kindness, the energy. And for some people, they can feel it. They really feel it. And I always like the times when weird stuff happens. Not really weird stuff, but unexpected stuff. Like I often tell about the time, just on the way into Dhammaloka on a Friday afternoon. We stopped in a house it was in Claremont, I think, around that area. And just one of the members who comes here on a Friday night wanted their house blessed. So I can do it on the way in. Just don't make a big deal about it. I'll just go in there, sit down and chant. I did that, and half an hour was all over, and came back here. And then she called in the evening, just sitting out there, called for Ajahn Brahm. So I answered, it was her. I said, look, I'll keep it quick, because I know what you're doing now, waiting for people to talk to you, and then come in here for the evening meditation and talk. But she said, sort of my 13 or 14-year-old or 14-year-old daughter came in from school about 15 minutes after you left. And when my daughter came back into the house, the first thing she said, she didn't know that I'd invited you over. Wow, Mum, the house is different. What the heck have you been doing? And so the daughter saw that straight away. She felt it. And honestly, for those of you who had daughters, 14, 15, 16-year-old daughters, you're usually not very sensitive. They're also interested in other things. And that surprised the mother so much. She said, I don't know what you've been doing, but well done. You could feel different. So I have enough of those experiences, many more, to see that sometimes this chanting can be incredibly powerful. But be careful. Don't line up here wanting myself or the nuns to come to your house to do chanting. There's too many of you. Just come here and we chant for you all together. That's really powerful. What actually is it? First of all, as a scientist, there's an effect there. So you have to recognize the effect of something happening. And then afterwards you find out what the cause is. And of course, what is the cause is powerful minds. Mind has a huge amount of power, much more than physical. And so when we can access that mind power and just develop it, of course you expect some really strong chanting. Been pretty good today, isn't it? It's supposed to be raining. Have to do some nice chanting to keep the sun is outside. I thought that maybe there'll be a washout today. Look at outside, a lovely day. So it's amazing just when good people do good things, with the power of the monks and the nuns, how you can do things like stop the rain. I understand that. Anyway, I'll do some of these ones in here. Oh, wonderful. Arnab Nag from Calcutta in India. I am a Hindu and want to take refuge in Buddhism, but my family is not interested in my decision. We are non-vegan too. How to cope with this situation? That as a Hindu, you can take refuge in Buddhism. That is fine. Just tell your family it's, in their understanding of it, that it's part of Buddhism. It's stretching things a bit, but that's good enough. The Buddha was an Indian, so you are taking him as your teacher. Not interested in my decision? It's not really so important whether your family is interested or not. That is your personal decision. And if it's a good decision, it'll impress your family. When I took refuge in Buddhism, still a student, actually less than that, just a high school student. When I took refuge in Buddhism, my family weren't interested either. But they let me become a Buddhist because I was a good person. And I never caused them any trouble. That I was studying well and never got into trouble. Never caused them any difficulties. So they respected my behavior. So Arnab Nag in Calcutta in India, let your family members see your behavior as a Buddhist. You're keeping precepts, you're kind, you're generous and you're peaceful. You can settle problems in the family just by not reacting with so much aggression. Then you probably find that they'll be impressed with you. They'll be very happy that you're a Buddhist. And maybe they may become a Buddhist themselves eventually. Not because you convert them with arguments, but that you actually impress them with your behavior. Anthony, I am a Buddhist and my wife is Catholic. I have 2 children. How do we raise our children knowing we have our differences? And there's a very good answer to that, because a monk a long time ago was asked a similar question. It was from people over in the United States, and they said that, we're both Buddhists, Mum and Dad are Buddhists, but how do we raise our children? Should we actually raise them as Buddhists? Or should we not teach them any religion at all, let them make their own free choice, take them to all the temples or whatever? What should we do? And the answer was to please encourage your children, teach them to be honest and to question. Just those 2 things. He said, if they're always honest, then they will never stop at a teaching or an idea of philosophy. Eddie, next time you come in, please turn it off. So if you teach your children to be honest, because that truthfulness means that you never lie to yourself, let alone lying to others. And if something doesn't make sense to you, if it doesn't appear to be truthful, you reject it, and it's worthwhile rejecting it. And also a question. So a question, that ability to search, to look deeper into things until you find the answer for yourself. He said, if you do those 2 things, whatever religion, whatever path, whatever spirituality is worth anything, the person will find for themselves. Because you're giving them the power, the equipment, for them to find out the truth for themselves. If Buddhism is worth anything, it should stand any questioning. And the answer should always appear to be, this appears to be honest, to be truthful, to be real. And that becomes very impressive. Okay. This is from Brazil, the next one. What is the immense tension I have felt on my back behind my heart since 2013? Is this the root of the ego? I don't really feel that. It could be the ego. I'm not sure exactly what the tension is you're feeling on your back. The ego is more of a spiritual tension. The actual feelings in the body as to something which are material. It may be related to some ego imbalance, But whatever is, the first thing to do is to make sure there's nothing physically wrong with that part of your back. The next thing to do is actually just to focus on it and give it kindness and relax it to the max. That's what many people do when they have physical problems. I'll go with this story again and then I'll pass this down. This was some time ago, a monk who had a very bad back in Bodhinyana monastery. And then he managed to get himself a CT scan. It was many years ago. And the CT scan revealed he had a genetic fault in his spine. And it was incurable. You can't operate on it. And so the doctor said, well, the only thing to do if you want to be relieved of the pain in your back is don't meditate, don't sit down. And he said, it's impossible, I'm a meditator. This is my life. So the doctor said, I can't help you. You just have to endure pain. But of course, this young meditator, monk, he actually researched even deeper, and he came across this beautiful method. And it's an example, which I'm sharing now with the gentleman from Brazil. What he did was to take his hands and stroke two muscles on either side of his spine. Because there's many muscles in our body which we just don't know exist. Our mind only knows those parts of our body which we use often. And so he would stroke those muscles for about 15 minutes each every morning. It's a long time. Until after about 3 months, every day without fail, until after 3 months he could feel those muscles without having to touch them. Just say, I can feel my fingers, I can feel my knees, I can feel my thighs. Because the way I meditate, I can feel my feet, the muscles in my feet. I can feel my toes. So he could feel these muscles in his back. The next thing to do, after 3 months, just he learned how to move those muscles. Up and down, up and down. That took him another 3 months, he said, roughly, until he could move those muscles at will, stretch them, relax them. It was like a trial and error until he could do it. The mindfulness gives you the opportunity for feedback, so you can know when it was moving, when it was still. And after a while, he became very skilled at exercising the two muscles on either side of his spine. And he exercised them every day, stretching them, relaxing them, stretching them, relaxing them, until they got so strong that they compensated for the weakness in the bones of his spine. And he could meditate without any more pain. It was a beautiful way, because when you actually touch those muscles, you're making the neural connections. And when you learn how to move them, exercise parts of the body which most people don't need to exercise, you could do that, and it got so strong that they compensated for his weakness in his spine. So maybe you can try doing things like that from Brazil. There's always other ways of dealing with the problems of life. And when you find those solutions, it opens up many more doors for your health and well-being. You can move things in your body which other people don't know was even possible, which means you have greater opportunities for health. Because it's supposed to be two people doing this job, so you want to answer the rest of the questions after the Mr. from Brazil?
We know that something good happens when we make a donation to BSW. How can we stop ourselves from thinking about what we might get in return when we donate? If you think that it's discount, so actually when you donate, you give it wholeheartedly, then the joy of letting go, just give. So the Buddha said that the giving actually you give it without thinking of anything in return. So that's like to stop that. He said, how can we stop ourselves from thinking about that we might get in return? Then you just say that, if I'm going to think that, my merits will be discounted. So that will stop you from doing that. actually the more you give, actually the more happiness you have, that actually is multiplied. So it will not get less. So that's why if you think of, that I'm going to give more, so each time you think that you're going to get things in return, so you think that what can I donate more? So if you start thinking that, so you remind yourself that I'm going to donate more. So the next question is, dear members, I have been practicing Buddhism by myself for the past 6 years, watching live stream from a monastery on the other side of the world. It is un-Buddhist of me not to have a local sangha. It is un-Buddhist of me not to have a local sangha. Actually, sometimes it's not easy to have a sangha, isn't it? So actually, online you do have the sangha. You see all the monks and nuns, and even though physically it's not there, but we are here. So come to visit more, watching BSWA live stream, and then also on the website, listen to the talks, and so you have the sangha. If you don't have local sanghas, you have us, okay? So.
But if you don't have a sangha close by, then ordain.
Yes, ordain yourself, then you have a local sangha, okay. So this is someone from Sri Lanka. We met Venerable Pasado from Bodhayana Monastery. He is now living in Sri Lanka wilderness. It was so inspiring to meet him. Thank you, Ajahn Brahm. Could you send more? Ajahn Brahm?
Very good.
Okay. Compassion requires both kindness and wisdom, but how do we know we are doing the wise things and not making a mistake in judgment? So if you are actually, that when your wholesome state of mind increase, unwholesome state of mind decrease, then you know that you are heading towards the right path.
Okay, very good. So thank you for that. Again, I know that time flies so quickly, so it's just gone past 4 o'clock. Is there any last question from the floor here? Before, you have one over there. Can we get the microphone over there quickly? That'll be the last question, because after this we do a little blessing for the volunteers.
This is more a thank you, because this is the power of chanting. On Friday night, I asked Ajahn Brahm to chant for my very sick daughter. She's been very sick for a long time, and it's been very hard for me to know how to cope with that when I'm so well and I have a happy life and she doesn't. She has a very, very difficult, challenging life. On Saturday, things went really difficult, were very difficult for her, and I broke down because I couldn't cope. And I realised that it was because I lost my son about 12 years ago, and I was so scared of losing my daughter. However, when I realised that and broke down between us, it just brought up this incredible heart of love between us. And I realised that, I'm so much more at peace now with her suffering. It's still very difficult, but I've lost that fear of losing her because I'd lost my son. I realised that whatever happens, that there's great love between us, more love now than there was before. So thank you, Ajahn Brahm. Thank you.
Thank your daughter too. Okay, very good. So now, thank you again for all those questions and comments, many different parts of life, which Dhamma can apply to. But now we are supposed to be doing a little blessing for all of you who've done volunteer work. And it's not just here in Nollamara. There's people all over the state, there's people all over the country, there's people over many different parts of the world who help out in so many different ways. And of course I can't resist this, but even like heavenly beings volunteer to help out at this place and help out spread Buddhism in our world. So there are all these beings who actually volunteer and do things which they don't really necessarily have to do. What a beautiful thing that is for them to do in this world. And of course, as Sangha members, we all try and do our best. You don't have to come here. I could do another 2-year retreat. No, not trying. That's a good idea, isn't it? 2 years. Where did that word come from? Another 6 months retreat. But there's also the willingness to volunteer, to serve, to share with other beings, what you have experienced, and give that leadership and that inspiration, hopefully. So there's volunteers in all areas, and every time you see great acts of people volunteering, you sort of just feel so grateful. But that's what I started off by, feeling grateful for those people who volunteer. But then I thought, no, what a wonderful advantage they're getting from volunteering in a place like this. What a wonderful thing it is. They've found the time, they found the inspiration to give up some of the hours of their day, of their week, for something which is much greater, more beautiful than just spending time at home. Yeah, you have time with your family, but if you want to volunteer, bring your family here to volunteer, if they possibly can. In other words, we realize how powerful being a volunteer is, and we can use these opportunities to increase the energies inside of us. There's so many wonderful stories of people coming here and just volunteering quietly, silently, giving in whatever way they can, whether it's breakfast or driving Ajahn Brahm all over the place, on our committee, cleaning up, opening up, doing the video work. The number of volunteers here is huge. And it's not a burden as far as I can see. It's opportunities where people can give and serve and get so much more happiness. This is the wealth of a human being, to serve, to give in areas which are very, very, very important in our world. Where other places could you go and get really, really good advice on things like marriage, on things like diseases, mental differences? I don't like saying illnesses anymore. People in jail, people who are getting old and dying, yourself, your own practices. These are enormously powerful teachings we have here. And a beautiful place where you can practice these teachings. A beautiful place where you can go on a retreat. A beautiful place you can take your children to offer dana, and so that we don't just talk about equity, we actually try and practice it as best we possibly can and make it even more powerful as something we try and teach by our actions, not just our words. So little by little, though we do celebrate volunteering as an essential part of our Buddhist practice. I already mentioned that you can understand Buddhism, you can write books about it, you can lecture in it, but being a practicing Buddhist is more powerful than being a knowledgeable Buddhist. The fact you are kind to one another, you find that you do let a person in the traffic, not just when you're driving Ajahn Brahm back from the optometrist, but at all times you let them in. In other words, you're kind to other people, you're creating a more beautiful place in our world. And little by little, that volunteering, make this a safe, a comfortable, a clean, a welcoming place where people can come and learn and grow and feel peace. And I can never underestimate the power of such qualities in healing sicknesses. in reconciling people in marriages, getting people to have, those who want to have a relationship-guided life, good relationships, to be able to solve problems in committees, to be able to help people who've helped you, with your service. It's a beautiful way of spending a life, as much as you possibly can. And of course, you have so many other duties in the world. You don't get paid money for being a volunteer, that's why it's called volunteering. You get so much back in return, which is much more valuable than money. The very fact you feel that you've done a service, and today you've helped, you've cared, you've actually done a tiny bit, which makes this world a better place. As far as I'm concerned, just the amount of good karma we produce from this little place, from our monasteries, from all the people who make up the websites and live stream this and live stream that, the amount of good karma you make is huge. The Buddha always said the gift of Dharma is the greatest gift. And of course it's not just someone in front of a microphone teaching. It's somebody who turns on that microphone. It's somebody who advertises, yes, there's a monk or a nun giving a talk tonight. It's those who send it overseas and make sure that it's good reception. It's those who record it for future generations. It's for those who make this whole place available for sharing the Dhamma. That's huge good karma. And when I even just start thinking about it, just, for me, it brings me goosebumps. So as a volunteer, you're giving. And giving is not just giving donations into the box. Giving is much more than that. Giving your time, giving your energy, looking after one another, caring for one another, little by little. That makes this world a beautiful place. So many people get depressed because all they read about is drugs, corruption, wars, violence. There's much more to the world than that. Come to volunteer. See for yourself just what a little gift can achieve in our modern world. Again, 38 years I've been in this place. From a tiny room, no, not a tiny room, sorry, just 2 bedrooms, 1, two bedrooms, 1 lounge room and a kitchen. And an outside toilet. That was 4 Magnolia Street, our first temple. Sometimes on Vesak days I had to queue up to get into the toilet. There's only one there in the whole house. But just with a few people, to see how much this has grown, to be just a beautiful place for people in our world. So all as volunteers, you've really helped. And so we want to acknowledge you. And I don't know how to acknowledge you, but you know who you are. Sometimes reading out lists of names, if I had all the names of the people who volunteer here, honestly, reading them out would take the whole half hour, probably, and I wouldn't get through to anybody. Each one of us knows a little bit of the volunteers who help out. The nuns, Ajahn Hasapanya, she knows some of the volunteers over in Dhammaloka, which I just do not know, because I don't live there, I don't see them. They keep the place going, keep it clean, keep it so safe, keep it operating, help pay the bills. Many, many volunteers I know at Bodhinyana, at Jhana Grove, people you never see, but come, nevertheless, to clean, look after the place. All those volunteers who come and give food, give robes, and help out in so many different ways. Huge number of people. And so we cannot reach everybody by name, but at least you know who you are. And please receive the blessings from the Jewel Sangha today for all those who volunteer, who have volunteered, each in your own way to your own abilities, at this incredible centre called Buddhist Society of Western Australia. Now we can do a blessing ceremony. Which you want to do? We're just getting into it. Sabba dukkha nupawena. Sabba dhamma nupawena. Sabba. Okay. But no, it's not dukkha. Yeah. We want to get something which is probably the Sabba Buddha nupawena, the Chulamangala Sutta.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a blessing, and again, for monks and nuns. Have you got some, what's it called, microphones down there as well? You got any spare microphones so we can hear the nuns down there and the monks down here? Want to give it full power. Excellent, thank you. Just even little volunteers who run up to get the microphone and run over there to get microphones. You don't have to do that, but it's wonderful people do that. Okay, down there, is that enough? A bit further. Down that end, yeah. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, you ready? This is for all of the volunteers. It's not a thank you. It's a recognition of the amazing work that you have done and continue to do for the benefit of all sentient beings. This is for all the volunteers in planet Earth and also heavenly beings too, who look after us. Sabba Buddha Nupawena Sabba Dhamma Nupawena Sabba Sangha Nupawena Buddha Ratana Dhamma Ratanang Sangha Ratanang Tinang Ratananang Anubhavena Chatura Siti Sahasa Dhamma Kanda Nubhavena Pitaka Nubhavena Jina Sawaka Nubhavena Sabbe te roga Sabbe te baya Sabbe te antaraya Sabbe te upadawa Sabbe te dunimita Sabbe te awamangala vina santu ayuwadako danawadako iwadako yasawadako balawadako wanawadako sukhawadako hotu sabada dukkha baya veva soka satu chupadawa anekantaraya piwina santu chatejasa jaya siddhi dhanang labang soti bhagayang sukhang balang siriayu cawano cabogang wudi cayasawa satawasa cayu cajiwa siddhi bhavantu te. May streams of blessings happiness, good health, joy, inspiration fall upon all those beings who have helped and served and volunteered in small or big ways. May you realize that what you've done is not small at all, but magnificent. And many devas would be blessing and rejoicing in all the goodness of all of you who've made it possible even just to have a Vesak ceremony today. All of those who've made it so that the monks and nuns are healthy and happy, that we have a committee of dedicated, brilliant people sacrificing their time to look after this center. To all the people who just wash the dishes, to the people who give donations, to the people who do the banking, to the people, so many amazing people which you don't know, you don't see, but they know who they are. And it's a beautiful joy and inspiration of what you do. Incredibly good karma. You're so lucky being able to volunteer in a center like this. Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Very good. Do you want to say a few words about the volunteers? Do you want to say a few words yourself about the volunteers?
Yes, we have lots of volunteers and it's quite inspiring. And I just want to mention one of the volunteers. Actually, it's our electrical engineer. So he designed our whole monastery. And actually, he has to work. He previously was working in a Western Power. You know what happened? He had to get up 4 o'clock in the morning to do our design, to do our drawing. And then sometimes 15, his lunch hour, he comes up here to have the meeting with our builders and that's other electricians that they're going to do the installing. But because he's the one who do the design, so he has to be here. And he just so amazing that he really give his time. How many hours he works so hard. He woke up 4 o'clock in the morning to spend a few hours every day to do our job, because it's quite a big project and so many buildings, and with the whole design, I can't really read even those drawings. It's very complicated, and many other volunteers is so inspiring. And each time when they come and help us, sometimes with the mulching, with the fire, especially every year. After Vasa, we have to do our fire breaks and then to reduce all the debris and raking and have to clear all the path and cutting and things like that. They're so inspiring. They come in the morning. They work till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then when you thank him, I say, thank you so much for helping us. And then they say, oh, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to serve. And they're so bright and happy, and they work so hard, and they work whole day, and they're still very bright and so happy, and lots of joy and happiness that the giving, sometimes it's quite inspiring, when we see. Especially our volunteers, how much they gave. And the other day we have one, because now we're building a retreat kuti. So the 2 guys, he purposely takes day off to come up there to help us to paint our plywood. Takes day off, the day he's off, he said, the day before, he said, it was raining, so I look at the forecast, not raining tomorrow, I come. And then, so inspiring, he come in morning and do the work and then happily go, and then sometimes it's really all these volunteers, and especially with, our monastery, and without the support, without all the volunteers, we can't do it. Physically we are not that fit. We can't really do all the job. But without the volunteers, it's really not possible for us to really maintain Dhammasara, such a big property. It's 583 acres. It's a big property. Even we don't sleep, we keep working, try to work on our land. It's also impossible. So without the volunteer, it's really impossible. So they help us with cutting the path, the regrowth, and things like that. So thank you so much, all the volunteers that have been supporting Dhammasara and doing all the works. Without you, it's not possible. And also you give the opportunities for more nuns to come and train, more women to give them the opportunities to become a nun, and also for lay practitioner to come and stay in the monastery to practice. So thank you so much.
And while you've got the microphone in front of you, Venerable Hasapanya, is it true you're expanding the opportunity for people to volunteer at nuns' monasteries in Bundanoon, New South Wales? Please comment.
You mean the nuns are going to Santi?
Yes, right.
Yeah?
You're franchising.
Yeah. Actually, normally I would talk to them, ask them, how do you feel? Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
But I think they happily volunteer to go, want to go.
Yeah,
they want
no,
to be of service.
But also just all the lay people who go there as well. How's it going?
Oh, yeah, they're very good. We even have lay people go there. And Sudama is there. Oh, very hardworking. Can't stop her from doing working. She cook and she raking and ask her not to rake so much. Ask her to take a day off. She said, no, I want to work. So
And how old is she?
I think she's 76 or something like that. 70 or well, 74. 74. And then morning she help with preparing breakfast, and after that she do raking and then come and prepare lunch. And then we said, okay, you're working too hard. Maybe you take a rest tomorrow. Maybe No. I want to rake. It's good to keep my body going, and I'm more it's healthier. So that's why the more you work, the healthier you are. So next time, please volunteer to come to Dhammasara, and also you can volunteer to go to Santi. Okay, Bandanan.
Yeah. Because Sudama, she used to be cooking over in Bodhinyana Monastery for a long time as well. So it is wonderful she shares her time. A beautiful way of a 76-year-old spending her life, just serving Sanghas. What a wonderful thing that is. Anyway, to all our volunteers, well done, all of you. And it's a great thing to be able to do. And it's in so many different areas. And it's true that when you give to other people, especially to a good cause like monasteries, the Buddhist Society of Western Australia, you get so much more energy out of that than if you did it for your own family or for your own sort of busyness. You're doing something which is inspiring. It's so easy, much easier to give to things like that. It's beautiful. I can't resist this little story to finish off, because I usually tell this on retreats. All of those of you who've been to Ajahn Grove Retreat Centre, you know that story. It was to be finished for the Easter retreat in I don't know how long ago, that was 12, 13 years ago. And then just the evening before the opening day, the floor in the meditation hall was only half floored. We tried to get people to lay the bamboo floor, but they couldn't come. It was the day before Easter. It's about 6 in the evening, having this big ceremony the next day, followed by the first retreat at Jhana Grove, and the floor was only half laid. And of course you know what happened next. Even though the monks had been working so hard all day, at a big ceremony the next day, a number of monks put their hand up and they finished that floor overnight. Finished at 4 a.m. in the morning. And Ajahn Brahm was involved, but Santuti was the main culprit leading it all. They did a beautiful job there. And in the morning, the floor was complete. And no one realized at the time just how close it was to not being finished in time for the grand opening ceremony that morning. Finished the evening before. And were those monks really tired? No, 6 o'clock they were up again to get ready for the ceremonies. And an hour and a half sleep, that's all. So we don't just exploit you. You exploit us. We exploit one another. I'm so happy to do that. That's why sometimes that people say, Ajahn Brahm, don't you feel that people take advantage of you all the time? I said, yes, they do. That's what I'm here for. Take advantage. It's a beautiful way of living a life. You get tired, you say, okay, I really do need to take a rest now. Other than that, you have a wonderful life. Okay, so that's talking about the volunteers, blessing them. Where's Lucky? Is she over there somewhere? Yeah, anything more for the volunteers? Okay, very good. So, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to all the volunteers. And next, we have the ceremony for giving the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts, often for the first time, to people who can't be here. They're overseas, eastern states, in remote places in our world, where they just cannot get to this place. But for those of you who want to go to have a toilet break, first of all, it may be a good thing to have a toilet break for 5 or 10 minutes, and then come back. Is that a good idea? So a toilet break for 5 or 10 minutes, and if you wish to come back afterwards, please come back in 5, 10 minutes, where we do the blessings for the people who are joining from overseas, and from here too.
Oh, she already gone.
Okay. Wow, how many have we got today?
You want to go
51. Oh, that's good. I was born in 1951.
Kantika already gone.
Oh, you haven't got things in the back, was he? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, Germany, yeah. Okay, they go on the top here, do they? Are these from Germany or from where? This is okay, great.
The next session, very fast.
Okay, yeah. From ATT, that's Scott Morrison.
No, then after that, only taking 3 refuges and 5 precepts.
Okay,
and
yeah.
after that, they have a break.
Okay. Oh, Germany. Any from Saudi Arabia? South Korea? And North Korea? Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, very good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, do you want to give it back here? Yeah. Okay, yes. Okay. Please don't stand too far away, so if I need to ask any questions, I have someone to ask them. Very good. And again, all those people overseas who are just waiting for the ceremony to begin, be beginning just in a couple of minutes' time. Yeah, thank you for helping out what you said. Very nice. It's okay. What do you have? Yeah. 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 I'll just sit in the front here. Yeah, we're going to get everyone together in a few moments.
It's raining, Ajahn. Look, you see your forecast is not accurate. Hopefully it stops afterwards. I drank some.
And for those of you who've just noted that the rain has fallen, I did say this is a time for the toilet break. So even the heavenly beings are having a toilet break. And we come back in a few moments.
We did something, it's a recording video for the Vesak something.
Oh, good, good. Okay, yes, yeah. So those of you who are taking the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts here, please come and sit in front. VIP seats. So those taking the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts for the first time, please come in the front here. And if you need to sit on a chair, you can get a chair and come and sit on that if you wish. Or you need cushions, please come on the cushions. So we start to congregate those who are taking the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts for the first time here. I know some of you have been keeping the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts for a long time, but it's nice that you come up and do it formally. And of course, taking the 3 refuges has been a symbol for 2,500 years or more of being a Buddhist. Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi. And it's not just the Theravada Buddhists, all Buddhists recognize this, the 3 refuges. And I remember just reading that in those old documents of how Buddhism came into Europe for the first time, over 2,000 years ago, when one of the Ptolemies, Philadelphus Ptolemy, the ruler of Egypt at that time, who was increasing the sea trade between India and Egypt at the time. And the sea route was from the port in western India, Soparaka, just outside of present-day Mumbai, and from there across the Persian Gulf. It dropped in at Aden, which is a very ancient port. From Aden, then up the Red Sea to Upper Egypt, and then a quick detour over the desert to the Nile, and then from the Nile up to Alexandria. But at the port they built over in southern Egypt, there even today there are these old graves of some of the workers from India who helped build the port. We know that some of them were Buddhists because on their gravestones is inscribed, this is over 2,000 years ago, inscribed Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi, Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi. They're going for the triple gem, the 3 refuges. And that was just in a place like Egypt. So that's always a sign, what a Buddhist really commits to, the triple gem. Buddhaṃ, Dhammāṃ, Sanghaṃ. And of course, for those people who want to know what those words mean, Buddhaṃ, the Buddha, but it's always what the Buddha represents to you. The person who embodies these principles of peace, forgiveness, stillness, wisdom. The person who would never get angry. The person who just knew how to live very simply, to inspire, to give, to lead. The human being who 2,500 years ago when he lived, he made that vow. I say this because he's got the nuns next to me. The vow that he would not depart from this world until he had established not just monks, not just lay people, but nuns, bhikkhunis, That was part of his mission from the very beginning when he started teaching, to have Bhikkhuni Sangha. And he wouldn't die, he wouldn't leave until that had been established. And so, notice, when I was born, Bhikkhuni Sangha was very, very weak. There's only Mahayana, it was not really there. So it's wonderful that now we've re-established that in our world, following the teaching of the Buddha. That's the sort of person he was. And the Dhamma, the teachings, all the incredible, powerful teachings, and so often I've used these teachings in modern psychology, and just how powerful they are. There's one group I often quote them, the assets, Australian survivors of torture and trauma, who use some of the things which they've heard here to help heal those people who've gone through huge traumas in life. And it works. Remember them coming up here and telling me that they get their permission to practice as psychologists and psychiatrists from the universities. But the stuff which really works, the stuff that they practice every day, they learn in places like this, spiritual teaching places. And it is powerful. So anyway, this is what the Dhamma does, and the Sangha, the community of monks and nuns, who dedicate their whole life, renounce everything, so they can live, realize, become incredible beings, and share that with all other beings. The triple gem. Okay, are we now ready to go? Okay, very good. So hopefully all of those overseas who are online, I can see you on the screen. I hope you can see me. Hi everybody. Congratulations, well done. You're online today. There's how many of it in all overseas?
31. Actually, no, minus the three of us.
Okay, about 28. Good to see you all over there. I'm not just saying this because I'm the head of this mob, this BSWA, but it's inspiring. It's a beautiful thing you're all doing. Very meaningful. Going for refuge to the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, and taking these precepts. It's something which you'll never regret for the whole of your life, and the next life, and the many lives, if you have so many. So anyway, we can start now by, here we go. I'm going to do the chanting in English and in Pali. Two of them, okay. Now go slowly, so those of you not really familiar with the Pali will be able to understand it very easily. You've got bits of paper, teaching things? Okay. So here we go now. Do you want to request the Three Refuges and Five Precepts, or is that already taken already? As request has already happened, so I'll just start the chant. So this is on page 3. The preliminary homage, Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So I'll do one line at a time, and then you do the line after me. It's not that hard. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Quiet. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. And that means the homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. And now we do the three refuges, which is usually the way that people acknowledge that they're Buddhist. I will do it first, and please repeat it afterwards. Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Ti sarana gamanang nititang. So that the translation, I go to refuge to the Buddha, I go to refuge to the Dhamma, I go to the refuge to the Sangha, second time and third time. I've been doing this for such a long time, but it still inspires me. And I'm being honest with you. It's beautiful. Oops. Now we do the 5 precepts. And I'll do it word by word, and then you repeat the word after me. And these ones I will also do the translation. Panatipata. Viramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. Adinadana. Viramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. Kamesu. Michachara. Viramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. Musa. Vada. Viramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. Sura. Meraya. Majja. Pamadatana. Viramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. Now to the English translation, line by line, repeat it after me. I undertake the precept to refrain from destroying living creatures. It's on page 6. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking what is not given. I undertake the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the precept to refrain from lying. I undertake the precept to refrain from intoxicating liquors and drugs which lead to carelessness. Those are the 5 precepts. To explain them a little bit more in depth, from destroying living creatures, intentionally destroying living creatures. In other words, if you step on a snail because you don't see it, that's not breaking a precept, but please try and be a bit more careful. Taking what is not given is stealing. So even when you do your tax returns, please do them honestly as you possibly can. And sexual misconduct means like sexual abuse usually, either of young people or people in your care. You're their teacher and they're your student. You should not have any relationship in such a situation, because the ability to consent, the ability to make free choices is sometimes not there for people. So in other words, to use, as lay people, the power of sexuality, relationships, in a way which doesn't harm other people. And precept to refrain from lying. One of the parts of that which I always was so impressed with was when you make a promise, try and keep that promise. If you say you're going to be at a place at a certain time and you can't make it, then give the person a call. But you don't just take your promises lightly. You make sure that if you make a promise, it means you're committed to it. And lastly, intoxicating liquors and drugs which lead to carelessness. This is like the alcohol and just the non-medicinal drugs, which do lead to a person losing their mindfulness, their clarity of mind. And it's just well known. Even a small amount of such substances means you're not really in total control of your decision making. And you don't really need that. Even though as a student I gave up alcohol and drugs, even though many of my friends were taking alcohol and some even taking drugs. But I decided not to. And I still got invited to all the parties, had good relationships with girlfriends, and had all my friends. I wouldn't tell them what to do. That was my choice. And they respected me for that. I remember after time at college, I asked my friends, what did they think of having a friend who was a Buddhist, keeping his precepts? And they said, what we really respected about that is you never told us what to do. That was your decision. You respected us, we respect you. And that means these were friends for life. They still are friends. So now we give the little blessing at the very end. I'll just give this in Pali. You can see the meaning. 5 training precepts lead to a happy rebirth. They lead to prosperity. They eventually lead to liberation. Therefore one should purify virtue. It's not a small thing. Even just in this world, the benefits from it, people trust you. And when they trust you, well, it's amazing sometimes the stories of being a monk. I just remember when we were building, we had an account, I don't mind saying who it was, in Colley's Building Supplies, over in Kelmscott at the time. And I got all this wood, for the building work we were doing, a lot of wood. And then when I got it back to the monastery, I found out there was a lot of that wood wasn't actually on the bill, but they'd missed it. So the next day, I brought it back. I said, all this wood over here, you missed it off the bill, so we returned it to you. And then we still want it, so can we pay for it? I remember the guy looking at me as if I was a madman. He'd never come across this before. And then what happened was, he said, just one moment. He went upstairs to the manager, and then the manager gave us a discount, which we had forever afterwards. I think it cost us about $20 extra we had to pay for that wood. But then the discount we had for the rest of the time that shop was open, for many years, we got that back so many times, simply because we were honest. And it's nice that we don't need to steal. So it does actually lead, in my experience, to more money in the bank, so we can build some more things for people. And it also leads to this beautiful giving up of what you want for what is really necessary in life. So this is imani panchasika padani silena sukating yanti silena bhoga sampada Silena niputing yanti tasma silang visodaye. Sadhu, sadhu. So you are now officially Buddhists. You were anyway. It's just acknowledging what you were all along. That's what I always said. I never was converted to being a Buddhist. I just discovered what I was. Buddhist. So anyway, we have these certificates, just to give you something, and some presents, books. The different books, are they the same? Are they all the same? Okay. Do you want to come on this side over there so you can... These two, okay. First of all, Aurora Tate. What a great name, Aurora. Yeah, great. Here we go. Can't get away yet. One of these. One of these. One of these. That's that right? Yes, yeah, there we go. Very good, Aurora. And Anula Rajapaksa. Anula, is she here? No, Anula, okay, so that'll be sent to you later on. Boon Jitan. Here we go. Very good. Are you Indonesian? Indonesian?
No, Malaysian.
Malaysian? Oh, it's not really close enough. But congratulations. Oh, yeah, one of these. One of these. And one of these. Very good.
Any more?
Have one for free. Okay. Claire Kisane. Claire? Claire Kisane? No. Annie Bay. Annie? No, okay. Chris Rudenclough. Chris?
From Japan.
You sure?
At the back.
Oh, it is here. It says it's here. Oh, it's not supposed to be there. Chinti Tuile. Here we go. Well, this is a bigger one. Isn't it? Here we go. One of these. And one of these. Okay, there we go. No, thank you. I hope you enjoy just the 5 precepts. They're beautiful. This is Germany. I'll read out the ones from overseas afterwards. Sharon O'Rourke. Sharon O'Rourke. Okay. Okay, they'll be sent to you later on. This is Spain. Christopher Rudenclough. Right? We did that one already, didn't we?
No, it's a different.
Christopher Rudenclough? No, not here. David Deister? David? Yay! Oh, yeah, you've been around a while. Alas. Yeah, you really have to in trouble now. Hey, don't go yet. You got this one too.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Dr. Oh, that's Germany. It's Australia, ACT. Spain. Ella Kowalski. You've been around a long time and just doing lots of nice things. Dziękuję. No, dziękuję? It's Polish. Yes, it is. Ajahn Brahm is Polsha. Very good. That's the only words I know in Polish. I'm not going to push it. Very good. Fukwali. Fukwali. No. Gulshan Carpenter. Mr. Carpenter. Gulshan. That's in UK. Ivan Manning. Yay, I got one. It's here. Congratulations to you. May you live a long, healthy life. What's that line rampant? Is that
This one, Morley Windmills Soccer Club.
Morley Windmill Soccer Club. May you score many goals. Very good. Okay, yeah. Here we go. You know, it is true. Many of you know this story, but some years ago, it was on a I think it was on a Saturday, that a couple of Sri Lankan young men came up here because the cricket team, Sri Lanka, was playing Australia in a one-day match at the Wacker. Sri Lanka versus Australia. And they were doing so poorly at lunchtime, they're being hammered by the Aussies. So the Sri Lankans, they asked, can we have some of the holy string, blessed string, pivot thread, so we can do better in the second half? And so I made some for them all, 12 pieces, because I know there's 11 players plus the 12th man. I gave them to them, but it was too late, they lost that match. But that's not the reason I tell the story. Because that match was a warm-up match for the Cricket World Cup. Now, what year was that?
96.
You see how well they know that? Because in the final, after all these knockout matches, the final was between Australia and Sri Lanka. And in that final of the World Cricket Championship, Sri Lanka won. They beat the Aussies. And I saw the next day in the West Australian paper, I saw the pictures. The front page of the West Australian had the Sri Lankan captain, Arjuna Ranatunga, holding up the World Cup with my string on his hand. I recognised it. It was mine. And I did keep it quiet for about 10 years. Otherwise, I'd have been sent out of the country. Anyway, that's true stories. Amazing. So, Jolo. Jolo, yeah?
Joe's actually here.
Online. Oh, yeah. Hi, Joe. Yeah, there you are. We'll send this to you. And that's in Germany. I'll do those ones afterwards. USA, UK. Here we go. Karina McKinnell-Rogers. Karina? No, okay. Ken Birch. Ken Birch? No. That's in UK. Germany, USA. Maggie France. Maggie? No. Must be overseas. It's in Germany, Malaysia, India. Nathan Jardine. Yay! Very good. Welcome to our Buddhist Society of West Australia. One of these. What colour do you like? Do your colour choice? Very good. Green. Oh, green party. Paul Barber. Paul. No Paul here. Pamela. Pamela Ross. No. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's Indonesian. Yeah, excellent. You say she's been a Buddhist a while. India. Renato. Renato Franz? No. Steve Carroll. Yay! Welcome to our cult. I mean, our Buddhist society. No, it's not a cult at all. You'll soon find that out. Here we go. Wow, Sudhamma Pereira. Anyway, we send that to you. Sam Pereira. No. It's in USA. Xiu Hua Lee. Xiu Hua? No. It's in Germany. Sang Tan. Yay! You come every week, so it's about time you joined up. Here we go. Very good. Oh, what colour do you like?
Oh,
We've got, okay. Oh, green, they're very popular. Okay. Tracy, Marco, Japan, Sweden. There we go. Warren Mark Alexander. Warren? Yu Yun Lim. Yu Yun Lim? No. Yvonne. Yvonne Chu? No? Who's over there? Hi, Yvonne. We'll send it to you. Hi. Sergio, look, and that's in Spain. The people here, you haven't got one yet, have you? What's your name? Yeah. Sorry? Kylie. Carly. You should do. I just joined in. You haven't already. You haven't signed in. Oh, okay. Who sitting here hasn't got one yet? You did. Okay, yeah. Well, please, you could give your names to Lucky, and we'll get you one for you afterwards. But these are ones. These are Australians. Anula Rajapaksa, Claire Kisane, Annie Bay, Chiaran O'Rourke, Christopher Woodenclough. If any of you are here, please come up. Fuqua Lee, Goshen Carpenter, Joe Lowe, Karina McKinnell-Rogers, Ken Birch, Maggie France, Paul Barber, Pamela Ross, Renato Franz, Sudama Pereira, and Sam Pereira, and Xiu Hua Lee, Warren Mark Alexander, Yu Yun Lim, Yvonne Chu, and Anula Rajapaksa. We did that the first. So all of you, we will send these to you later on, and with the gifts for you. But also, for those overseas, we have here Ida Maribel Edson. You see overseas? She's from UK. Ida? Ida there? No, okay. But anyway, you can't escape. We'll send it to you. I've got these ones here. I've got Chris Woodenclough again. Okay. Chris Woodenclough in Japan. Is Chris there? Yay! This is yours. Where's your camera? The camera's over. Can you see it? Where's the camera? Is that one or that one? Alright, anyway. Well done. You're a member of the cult. And Germany, Christopher Ringel in Germany. Is Christopher there? Okay. Christopher? No. We have Catalina Hurl. Catalina? Yay! Well done. We'll send these to you later. There's Dr. Frank Alexander Sattler. Frank Sattler? Yay! Well done. Oh, this is from the ACT. What does it say? It says, it's probably so, yeah. Actually, it says Scott Morrison. I've got his name, I was going to say. This is from the ACT, Don SP Uresh Prasanna de Silva. Prasanna de Silva, are you there? Wave? No. Okay. Is Scott Morrison there? No, okay. David Feliu from Spain? David from Spain? David Feliu? No. Okay. Hope it gets sent anyway. Johannes Wiegmann in Germany. Johannes? Is he there? Yay! Welcome, Johannes. Nice to see you. Am I holding the thing up to the right camera, Jake? Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, so many cameras here. Kylie Sandler from USA. Kylie? Kyle Sandler? No, okay. And Kelly Churchward. Kelly from UK. Yay! Well done, Kelly. Yeah, I'm very excited. Very good. Okay, you can stop now. Letitia Ahu. Letitia Ahua. In UK? Yeah. Yay! Marianne Tachner from Germany. Marianne? From Germany? Yay! Marilla Van Buren from USA. Marilla? Yay, well done. Marilla, is she there? From USA. The USA time difference probably is just middle of the night. Marine Hoonen from Germany. Is she there? Yay! Welcome, Marine. Marine Hoonen. Yay, very good. Ngan Queen from Malaysia. Malaysia, Ngan Queen. Are you there? Ngan Queen. No, okay. Nirupama Chanduri from India. Yay! Who's there? Welcome. Very good. From USA, Renee Hawkins. Renee Hawkins, USA. Renee Hawkins. No, okay. Rashmi Kensha Gowda from India. Rashmi, are you there? Rashmi? Okay. From the USA, Donald Trump. Oh, no, Shauna Jackson. Shauna Jackson from USA. Shauna, are you there? Shauna Jackson. Okay. Simon Falk from Germany. Yay! Welcome. Tracy Marco from USA. Tracy, USA. Tracy Marco. Oh, okay. And Udani Aihara from Japan. Japan? Oh. No, I didn't like it. The last one from Sweden, Victor Karls Johans Brandt. Victor Karls Johans Brandt. Yay! Yeah, nice to see you. Welcome. Oh, yeah. And Sergio Luke from Spain. Sergio from Spain? Yay! Well done. Did we miss anybody? Oh, Sergio. Good to see you. Do we miss anybody? If we miss somebody, because just we are impermanent, we're trying our best, we rely on volunteers. And if we miss your name out, it means we need more volunteers, so please sign up. But if we did miss anybody, please let Lucky know, and we'll send the certificate and the books at a later time for you, as best we can. So now for all of you who are new members, we'll now give a blessing for you all. Sabbaroga vinimuto, sabba santa pavajito, sabba veramati gandho nibuto, chatuang bhava Sabhitiyo vivachantu sabharogo vinasatu mate bhavanvantarayo sukhi digayugo bhavapivadanhasi litsanichang Vutapachalino Chataro Dhammavatanti Ayuvano Sukhang Balang to you all. That is a big blessing of happiness and good health and strength. So now for those of you who have just been admitted as new members of our Buddhist Society of West Australia who are here, you are invited to the VIP room for some snacks. Very good, which is just next door. You follow some of the committee members. Committee members are also invited in there. So, is there something you want to say? That's all. Yeah, you got something to say? Member of Parliament? Okay, that's Meredith Hammett. Where are you? Hi. Oh, yeah. Hi, nice to see you. Our local state member. Well done. Do you want to join? Nah, we don't want to force you. So anyway, welcome here. I think, is it okay for our committee that she gets a VIP lunch as well? Yeah, might as well. Okay, yeah, please, if you have time, come inside for VIP lunch. So for everyone else, there's not lunch, there is some snacks over in the reception area, I hope. Is that true? Yeah. Okay, so the reception area for the riffraff. And the VIPs next door. You're not riffraff, I'm only joking. Okay, so please enjoy a little something to drink or something. Okay. I suppose with the riffraff, I should go over there. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hi. Hi.
I normally don't drink as much, like sweet things and things like that. Okay. So, anyone want to have a drink? I think you can go over there, or you want to make a drink and. Yeah. But normally they can eat, we can't eat, but we can have drinks. Yeah. But it's sometimes quite lots of people, like very small rooms and many people in there. But if you want to go there, you can, and you want to go back to have relax, to have a drinks in the. Yeah, you want to go to the toilet. The next one, where is the program? November Chatika. The next one is 5:30. Is it? Six.
But we come back here.
Yeah. Six, the offering of flowers and the circle ambulance. 6. Yeah, 6. Okay. 6:30 is circle ambulance. Yeah, I think. Do you want to go over there, or you want any drinks?
Just get a drink if I can. I don't know if you have any juice. Oh, you're going to bring it here? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. What? Is it crowded? I can get it myself. So, apple juice?